Hello, everyone. How are you? This is Dwight Ferris. I will be your instructor throughout this INT 1108 journey. And we're launching something new here in the new year. We have a new learning management system or a new learning environment. And I think it'll be great for all of us, instructors, and for you as students. So let me do a brief overview to get you started. So I'm going to share my screen. Let's see. All right. Okay. So this new environment is called Canvas, and you're looking at the instructor view. I'm going to change this to the student view in a minute. Yeah, I was working on this, but bear with me. I was just working on this as an announcement, but you will see that it's fairly easy to navigate. So this is the instructor view, but we do have a way to view the website or the learning management site as a student. So this is what you'll see when you first log in, and hopefully you can add in an image of yourself. I have one on mine, but this far left kind of dashboard area is one of your best friends, because you can access things like your courses in this dashboard view. My access is denied, but in the courses view, you obviously have your courses. There's a calendar. As far as the messages, there's an inbox, and there's a studio. And if you click on that, there's certain things that you can do in the studio. You can create videos and all kinds of fun things in there. Let's go back to our course. That's kind of one of the first areas that you should investigate right away. The second is this next column here. This is the main navigation for the course. This is the home page here, and then you have announcements. And I do have quite a few in there, and this video will join them. Please read through those. The little blue dots on the left means that they're unread. And I can also track whether you've been in the site or not. So that's the announcements, and those are important. I will have quite a few to start you off. And then there's modules. This is probably the most important navigation section, because this will essentially map out the course from lesson 1 through lesson 5. And as you know, each lesson is associated with each week of the course. So please go through those. And this will have everything that you need to accomplish for the week. This is the main course information. This first module here. So it has everything as far as the course layout, the course introductions, where this is probably where you should start. If you click on there, you see that I have my introduction already in there with a broken link for a picture, but I'll have to redo that. But essentially, you can reply to my introduction or add your own. Great thing about this, there's a subscribe, where basically you'll receive an email whenever there's an entry. And that's useful. It may clutter your email, so it's really up to you. And the thing of it is, in these modules, as you see, when you click on that particular module, I mean, it changes the navigation here. You can always go back to the modules. There's this question and answers section, and basically this section is used for you to ask any questions that any of your classmates can view as well. So this section is useful for answers for you and those questions that your classmates have, not asked yet. So please use that section. And it's not listed as a main topic, but it does come up under the discussions, and it's in the modules. Remember, these, if you ever get lost in a course, these links here will help you to get back to a useful area. The syllabus is also under modules. You see, basically, it'll produce a viewable PDF, and you can download it and print it from that view. And remember navigation, the breadcrumbs as far as navigation here is probably easier to deal with it. Here, you notice that on the top we have our typical breadcrumb view as you expand through each of the links. This is our textbook. It's an ebook and it's also an interactive area, something that you really need to become used to. Basically, it maps out what the textbook is about, but essentially this section just gives you an idea that basically it highlights a test student, which you, but it'll show basically how you can create a little profile. But that is essentially our textbook. And the reason why it's listed that way, because the textbook is essentially all these interactive areas that I will show you as far as week one. There's a glossary here and an application glossary, and these are just listings. We don't have a lot in here yet, but we will have items in there. So don't get confused by those, how that's mapped out. You also have a place where you can store your own files. In Canvas, it's very easy, basically, and it goes to this test student. But once you begin to set up your profile, it'll give you access to basically everything that you have saved under the learning management system. So once again, don't panic when you don't have anything there initially. All right, so then our interactive area that controls our textbook is the Cirrus. If you have any issues, and it's a very comprehensive environment, it's one of the items that you really need to get started on right away, day one. Go into that, and if you have any questions about what's happening in Cirrus, we do have a link right to Cirrus customer support. Just click on this link, and basically you'll be connected to a customer support rep. All right, so let's move ahead. So that's the first kind of the introductory section for the course. And then we have essentially 5 lessons, which connects to each week, lesson 1 through 5, and then we have this career focus, which is just basically extra work, but it'll definitely help you to set yourself up for employment. So lesson 1, I'll go over this, and I will do this each week just so you get an idea. The first thing in lesson 1 are these concepts on file management. Well, essentially, this is our discussion. Basically, it starts out with this Cirrus environment about file management. And one good thing about this course, that was the main topic. So, that was a little confusing. Let me go back. So, the reason why I'm doing this, you have to remember that this course is all encompassing, meaning that it's a very good navigable container. So you can start out with this first link here, which is basically the main topic of the course. And you don't have to necessarily go back to modules. Down here we have this next button, which takes you right from this description, talks about our learning, our interactive homework or learning environment. And then the first thing it takes you to is our discussion question. And basically you want to read through the question, explain the importance of file management. And then I added some additional information about the weekly discussion questions. Please read through those carefully. But also there's a discussion forum measurement. I will have you link, well, I'll go ahead and click on it this first week, but basically this will download a PDF which explains how the discussions are scored. It's best, and each week you want to essentially submit that initial post before Wednesday midnight. That means you'll get the most, a full credit for your discussion scenario. And basically, remember, this is just a PDF. So when you click on the link here, so when you want to reply to the discussion, you just hit the reply button, and it'll bring up a section which you essentially write your text, here, and then hit post reply. And that's all you need to do. You are required to come back to the discussion question. Essentially, we would like for you to, every other day, come back to the discussion question and respond either to a response that I've submitted or something, a response that your classmates have submitted, right? Now, once again, you can hit the next button here in the discussion question. It'll take you to the supplemental lessons. Right now, because of the way my test student is set up, it's not going to go directly to the modules. So if this happens, just go back to the modules, go back to lesson 1, and essentially the first thing you want to click on after the discussion question is this video. Yeah, of course it's not working right for me as test student, but that should take you to the lesson 1 video for the assignment. And then beneath that, and if that, excuse me, if it ever appears that there's nothing that the assignment takes you to, just return to the modules and then click on the next link. And this should take you to the interactive environment. And I think what's happening now is that we're not, let's see. Let me go back to the instructor view, make sure that everything is working correctly. Essentially, and please let me know if this doesn't work correctly, this should take you to essentially, like this first section should take you to a list of videos for the chapters in the first part of your book. And each one of these interactive environment should take you to this nice little area where you will be instructed on certain lessons. So like this first one just goes through a definition of Internet of Things. They're nice little videos, and you can maximize this to full screen, and these are pretty straightforward. So anyway, and once you go through these videos, I'll let you go through. They're pretty fun. Just hit escape to move back from full screen view, and you can pause and start and stop, etc. Now, once again, the next button is your best friend. It will take you to the next, sections of the assignment. Now, these seem long, or it seems like a lot, but it really isn't that much. But I definitely recommend going through all of those. And then once you go through all the tutorials, there are these exams for each week. And this is where you get graded. Basically, it goes through within the Cirrus environment, essentially an exam. And basically, there's a point total, and you can, and my view is a little bit different, but basically you want to start the exam and go through each exam in turn. Well, another way to navigate through each of the assignments is the breadcrumb here, which doesn't show up on the main navigation. It's assignments. You can always click on that particular link, and it will map out all the assignments. That may be a little confusing. Once again, go back to modules. This will give you an idea of how the weeks are mapped out. And if you have any questions initially, and we all know that this environment is going to be a little bit different than a previous environment, but I think it's completely navigable, and it's much easier to understand. The work is basically still the same. I'm glad that we adopted this Canvas environment because I think it'll be useful for everyone. So once again, I'm Dwight. I will be your instructor. This was kind of a long video. Please don't hesitate to contact me. And I did post my office hours. I'm usually available, and I will try to respond, but sometimes I'm a little bit busy. I'm teaching at other institutions. So anyway, thank you, and I will see you all first day. Take care.